Ever wondered how some men build entire barns in a day without power tools, master three languages with eighth-grade education, and create furniture worth thousands using only their hands? In Amish communities, men accomplish what most would consider impossible. These 10 practices will challenge everything you believe about capability. Barn raising. Amish men construct entire barns in a single day without blueprints, power tools, or project managers. When a family needs a new barn, the community responds with what outsiders consider impossible. Between 100 and 200 men arrive at dawn, and by sunset, a complete 40 by 60-foot barn stands ready for use. The coordination happens through decades of shared experience rather than written plans or verbal instructions. The work divides naturally into specialized crews. Foundation teams prepare the base while frame crews cut and fit massive timbers. Roofing teams follow immediately behind, covering the structure before day's end. Master craftsmen, recognized through years of proven skill, direct operations using hand signals and subtle gestures that younger men learn to read instinctively. These leaders carry complete building knowledge and memory, understanding load calculations, timber sizing, and structural requirements without consulting a single document. The physical demands stagger modern observers. Teams of men lift 400-pound beams using only human strength and coordinated timing. Hand saws, chisels, and traditional joinery techniques create precision connections that hold these structures together for generations. Men work at dangerous heights without safety harnesses or fall protection, relying instead on sure-footedness and mutual awareness. Despite these apparent risks, serious injuries remain remarkably rare. Every able-bodied man participates when a neighbor needs a barn. This isn't optional community service, but a fundamental obligation. While men build, women prepare meals, feeding over 100 workers throughout the day. The entire operation costs between $15,000 and $30,000, compared to $100,000 or more for commercial construction requiring weeks or months with heavy machinery. Outsiders struggle to believe such coordination and craftsmanship can exist without modern tools and project management systems. Mandatory beards. Every married Amish man grows a full beard while keeping his face completely free of mustaches. This isn't a personal grooming preference, but a strict religious requirement. The moment a man marries, he stops shaving his beard entirely. The contrast with clean-shaven, unmarried men creates instant visual identification of marital status throughout the community. The theological reasoning runs deep. Beards represent manhood and submission to God's natural order. The mustache prohibition stems from historical separation from military culture, as European soldiers wore distinctive mustaches. By rejecting mustaches while requiring beards, Amish men visually declare their pacifism and separation from worldly military traditions. The Ordnung specifications vary slightly between districts regarding beard trimming and length, but the mustache ban remains universal and absolute. A married man's beard grows continuously, with length and fullness indicating years of marriage and spiritual maturity. Grooming standards permit neat, maintained beards while discouraging wild, unkempt appearances. The community tolerates some variation in beard style, but maintaining the beard itself is non-negotiable. Shaving a beard after marriage brings serious consequences, including possible excommunication for repeatedly violating this fundamental marker of Amish male identity. Medical exceptions remain extremely rare and require explicit church leadership approval. The practical challenges of manual farm labor with long beards are considered irrelevant compared to the spiritual significance. Outsiders immediately identify married versus unmarried Amish men through this practice, which seems arbitrary but carries profound meaning within the community. This contrasts sharply with mainstream culture, where facial hair represents personal style choice rather than religious obligation and social status. Hired drivers. Amish men refuse to own cars, yet hire non-Amish drivers regularly for necessary transportation. This apparent contradiction confuses outsiders who assume the community either rejects modern transportation entirely or embraces it fully. The theological distinction centers on ownership versus use. The Ordnung prohibits car ownership because it enables independence from community, allowing individuals to leave easily and pursue separate interests. However, riding in vehicles driven by others maintains community interdependence while acknowledging practical needs. The Amish taxi system operates through established relationships with English drivers. Families maintain regular arrangements for medical appointments, bulk shopping trips, and business necessities. Payments occur through cash transactions or sometimes bartering goods and services. Most travel stays within a 50-mile radius of home, with longer trips reserved for exceptional circumstances like distant family emergencies or specialized medical care. Business operations sometimes require hired transportation for furniture delivery or supply purchases. These practical exceptions maintain economic viability without compromising core values. Horse and buggy remains the primary transportation for daily activities, including church services, local shopping, and visiting neighbors. Statistics show average Amish families hire drivers 2 to 3 times monthly for situations impractical with horses. Driver etiquette follows specific unwritten rules. Conservative conversation, no radio or loud music, and modest driving speeds create environments acceptable to Amish passengers. During Rumspringa, some young men express frustration with transportation limitations before accepting them through baptism. The practice maintains community dependence and slower life pace while acknowledging certain modern necessities. Outsiders struggle to understand how using cars without owning them preserves values, but the distinction holds profound meaning for maintaining community cohesion. Pneumatic power. Amish men work without electricity from public grids, yet operate workshops rivaling modern facilities through pneumatic power systems. The Ordnung bans connecting to electrical grids but permits generating independent power. This distinction seems contradictory to outsiders, but reflects careful theological reasoning about independence from worldly systems versus practical capability. Compressed air tools powered by diesel generators fill Amish workshops. Air-powered saws, drills, and sanders perform nearly identically to electric equivalents. Diesel or gasoline engines generate compressed air distributed throughout workshops, powering equipment that produces furniture and goods, competing directly with modern manufacturers. Some communities accept 12-volt battery systems for limited lighting and small appliances, while progressive districts permit solar panels as acceptable self-generated power. Gas-powered refrigerators and washing machines handle household needs without grid connection. Hydraulic power systems operate heavy machinery for manufacturing and agriculture. The underlying logic maintains separation from dependence on outside infrastructure while acknowledging practical needs for productive work. Self-generated power sources keep communities independent from systems that could exert control or influence. Amish craftsmen produce over $2 billion annually in goods using these adapted power systems. Furniture shops create museum-quality pieces without electricity, demonstrating that traditional craftsmanship enhanced by pneumatic tools achieves professional results. Younger generations push boundaries on acceptable power sources, creating ongoing discussions within communities about maintaining core values while enabling economic competitiveness. The seeming contradiction between rejecting electricity and using pneumatic power confuses outsiders who see both as modern technology, missing the crucial distinction about independence and community control. Horse farming. Amish men farm using horse-drawn equipment in the 21st century, while neighbors operate million-dollar machinery. This commitment to animal power seems hopelessly inefficient to outsiders, but reflects deliberate choices about family farming, community scale, and sustainable practices. Controlling teams of 4 to 6 horses simultaneously requires years to master, with experienced farmers managing these powerful animals through voice commands and subtle rein signals. The practical advantages include zero fuel costs, no machinery debt, and horses that reproduce themselves, unlike depreciating tractors. Average Amish farms span 50 to 100 acres, smaller than mechanized operations but sustainably managed by family labor. Horse farming creates less soil compaction than heavy tractors, improving long-term soil health. Manure provides continuous free fertilizer, unlike chemical-dependent mechanized farming requiring expensive inputs. Daily care begins before dawn with feeding, grooming, and harnessing horses for field work. Physical demands are substantial, with farmers walking 10 to 15 miles daily behind plows. Speed limitations mean plowing 2 to 3 acres per day compared to 20 or more with tractors. These apparent inefficiencies maintain slower life pace and keep families working together on manageable land parcels. Modified equipment includes horse-drawn hay balers and corn pickers that accomplish mechanized tasks using animal power. The economic reality shows Amish farms maintain 95% or higher survival rates compared to roughly 50% for conventional farms, suggesting their approach creates stability rather than inefficiency. Younger generation pressure exists for adopting tractors in some districts, creating ongoing community discussions about maintaining traditional practices. Outsiders perceive primitive inefficiency, where Amish see sustainable family farming models, preserving community structure and land stewardship. Trilingual fluency. Amish men speak 3 languages fluently despite formal education ending at 8th grade. Pennsylvania Dutch, a German dialect, serves as their native home language learned from birth. High German is used exclusively for church services and prayer, requiring literacy in a language distinct from daily speech. English enables business transactions and interaction with the outside world. This trilingual ability develops naturally through distinct contexts rather than formal language instruction. Children grow up hearing Pennsylvania Dutch at home, learning English in Amish schools, and studying High German for worship. By age 12, most achieve full fluency in all 3 languages, with seamless code switching ability. Pennsylvania Dutch preserves a dying language spoken by over 400,000 people, maintaining direct connection to European heritage. The dialect combines German grammar with English loanwords, creating unique linguistic features. The cognitive benefits of multilingualism enhance Amish mental acuity despite limited formal schooling. Outsiders often assume 8th grade education indicates limited intelligence, missing how practical trilingualism demonstrates sophisticated linguistic capability. Business advantages include communicating privately in Dutch while selling to English customers, maintaining both cultural separation and commercial effectiveness. Language preservation happens through daily use rather than academic study. This contrasts sharply with monolingual Americans who often struggle mastering even their native language fully. The assumption that limited formal education equals limited ability crumbles when observing Amish men negotiating complex business deals while switching effortlessly between 3 languages. Handcrafted furniture. Amish men create museum-quality furniture using primarily hand tools without power equipment. Traditional joinery techniques, including mortise and tenon joints, hand-cut dovetails, and wooden pegs, produce furniture lasting generations. The finest pieces contain no nails or screws, relying entirely on precision joinery and wood glue. Mastering these techniques requires years of apprenticeship working alongside experienced craftsmen. Hardwood selection and preparation happens without power planers. Hand planing boards to precise thickness using only manual tools demands both strength and refined technique. A single dining table requires 60 to 80 hours of careful handwork, with every surface smoothed and every joint fitted to tolerances measuring in thousandths of an inch. This time investment creates quality impossible to replicate in factory production. Market demand reflects this quality, with Amish furniture commanding premium prices from $3,000 to $15,000 or more per piece. While pneumatic tools supplement production in some workshops, they don't replace fundamental hand skills. The meditative aspect of slow, careful craftsmanship creates connection between maker and object that mass production eliminates entirely. Father-to-son knowledge transfer happens over years of working together, with techniques preserved through demonstration rather than written instruction. Wood finishing uses traditional stains and hand-rubbed oils, creating depth and character impossible with spray finishes. Outsiders struggle believing furniture this precise emerges from shops without computer-controlled machinery, missing how human skill guided by experience achieves results machinery cannot match. Refusing benefits. Amish men refuse government benefits despite eligibility, creating self-sufficient communities without safety nets most Americans consider essential. Since 1965, Amish communities received exemption from Social Security, paying no payroll taxes and receiving no retirement benefits. They refuse unemployment insurance, disability